Sarah Collins, an elderly woman of African descent with a simple but elegant appearance, walked into a luxury car dealership with the intention of buying the Lexus RX 500h she had long dreamed of. However, from the moment she set foot in the showroom, she noticed the prying eyes and the pause of conversations between the staff. Although Sarah was neatly dressed in a meticulously tailored blazer and well-polished shoes, her old leather bag and salt-peppered hair seemed to have made them underestimate her abilities. When Sarah asked an employee named Todd to introduce the car she wanted to buy, instead of enthusiastically supporting, he showed disrespect by asking her to see cheaper models, and secretly smiling at her colleagues when talking about her. Despite being looked down upon, Sarah remained calm, leaving without showing any discomfort, but in her heart there was a determination to change the situation. The attitude of the employees in the car dealership is not only disdain, but also a slap in the face to Sarah Collins' pride and steadfastness. She walked into the showroom with indescribable excitement, visualizing herself behind the wheel of the Lexus RX 500h she had long coveted, a symbol of effort and success after decades of striving. But the atmosphere in the showroom quickly became suffocating when she noticed prying eyes and unusual silence. The saleswoman named Todd approached with a half-hearted smile. Her eyes swept over her well-groomed blazer but stopped at the worn-out leather handbag as if to judge her full worth by a few superficial details. When Sarah asked about the Lexus RX 500h, Todd replied in a tone of fake politeness, but deep down was distrust and disrespect. "You definitely want to learn about this car. The price is not low," he said, deliberately emphasizing the high price, as if to check if Sarah could afford it. Sarah could feel the curious eyes of the other employees watching, some of whom were even exchanging whispers and laughing, clearly not hiding their ridicule. Chris, a young employee, even walked over and whispered something in Todd's ear that made them both giggle, as if Sarah was just a character in a joke. Meanwhile, Sarah still kept a calm face, but in her heart was a storm of emotions. The insult did not anger her immediately, but left behind a quiet pain and a stronger determination. She knows her own worth, knows that she can not only afford to buy a car but also do more. Instead of arguing or letting her emotions dominate, Sarah gently placed her hands on the hood of the car, sliding her fingers through the glossy paint as if measuring her determination. She looked straight at Todd, asking a simple question about the car's features, but when the answer was a pejorative hint of cheaper older cars, Sarah just smiled and calmly replied, "Thank you, I'll think about it further." Stepping out of the dealership, Sarah didn't rush to get into the car right away. She paused, took a deep breath and glanced at the gleaming glass building, where the public disregard had just taken place. Her eyes gleamed with determination. Sarah Collins is not the type of person who easily backs down from injustice. The years she has lived and worked, facing countless difficulties, have taught her one thing: every challenge can be turned into an opportunity. On the drive home, instead of being frustrated or regretful, Sarah began to think. She thought not only about the car, but also about how she was going to change the environment she had just left. A grand plan that was slowly forming in her mind, little by little, clear and powerful. Sarah Collins is no ordinary woman. Her life is a long story of perseverance, wisdom, and determination to overcome the limits set by society. Born and raised in a family of teachers in a small town near Charleston, South Carolina, Sarah understood the value of knowledge and hard work from an early age. Her parents, despite their modest salaries, have always taught their children self-esteem and belief in their own abilities. But at the time, opportunities for Black women, especially in finance, were virtually non-existent. But Sarah didn't let circumstances limit her path. With patience and dedication, Sarah made her way into the financial industry, a field that was inherently almost unreserved for people like her. With her knack for personal financial management and smart investment strategies, Sarah quickly proved her talent. She worked hard, overcoming countless skeptical glances and underestimated. As one of the few Black women who attend important meetings, she often feels alone, but instead of backing down, Sarah sees it as a motivation to improve herself. Over the course of 3 decades, she not only achieved promotion, but also amassed a significant fortune, enough for her to retire early comfortably. However, retiring with Sarah does not mean stopping giving. She chose to come back and help the younger generation, especially other women of color. She organizes mentoring sessions, creating opportunities for them to find their place in challenging professions. For Sarah, seeing young women enter the room she used to be alone in was a great source of pride. As a result, the Lexus RX 500h is more than just a car for her. It's a symbol of achievement, endurance, and self-esteem. But the visit to the car dealership awakened in her something bigger. It wasn't the car, but the way she used her power to change social perceptions that was really a worthy challenge. That night, when she returned home, Sarah Collins didn't feel angry or bitter even though she had just experienced a day of belittlement. Instead, she sat down at the dining table, in front of a cup of mildly scented green tea, and began to review her personal financial documents. As she was deliberating, she suddenly remembered information about a car dealership that she had stumbled upon in a list of investment opportunities a few months ago. At that time, she ignored it, considering it an unattractive target. But after what happened today, owning the very place that has belittled oneself seems to have become an act that is not only logical but also symbolic. This thought kept growing in her mind. With a familiar calm, Sarah called her financial advisor and asked about the possibility of acquiring the agency. When she received confirmation that this was a feasible move, she did not hesitate. The next morning, under the bright sun, Sarah walked into the car dealership again. No longer an underrated client this time, she appears as the new owner. This decision is not out of mere retaliation, but rather a statement that respect and equality cannot be ignored. With one final signature on the contract, Sarah not only owns the agency, but also has the opportunity to redefine human treatment and build a space that everyone can appreciate, regardless of appearance or background. At noon that day, the atmosphere in the car dealership showroom was still as busy as ever. The employees gathered at the coffee area, happily chatting and laughing about the special customers they had met. Todd stood in the middle of the group, gloating at the story of Sarah Collins, the woman he didn't know would soon change their fate. "She probably won't make that much money in a year," Todd said, shrugging his shoulders, stirring his coffee. Chris, standing next to her, added with an ironic joke, "If it were me, I would have bluntly pointed her to the old car." Laughter rang out, a complacency that they didn't expect would soon turn into confusion. When Sarah walked into the showroom in the afternoon of the same day, no one noticed her right away. Not the ordinary guest they were willing to judge. She walked straight into the manager's office with a confident and powerful demeanor. When the manager Bradley looked up and saw her, his eyes were full of confusion. "What do you need here?" he asked, trying to hide his embarrassment. Sarah smiled, her voice calm but majestic. "I'm here to ask for the entire staff to be summoned. I have an important announcement." Just a few minutes later, the whole staff gathered at the showroom, their eyes full of curiosity and even somewhat confusing. Todd and Chris stood at the end of the crowd, trying to guess what was happening, but no one dared to speak. Sarah stepped up, her voice clear, every word steady and powerful. "Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sarah Collins. And as of this morning, I am officially the new owner of this dealership." The gallery became so quiet that every intermittent breath could be heard clearly. Todd, his face white, lowered his head to avoid Sarah's gaze, and Chris didn't even dare to look up. Meanwhile, Bradley stammered, trying to confirm the information in a confused way. "You mean, did you really buy this dealership?" he asked, as if in disbelief. Sarah nodded, her eyes cold but determined. "Yes, and I want to take this opportunity to clarify that this is not just a car dealership. This is a place where every customer, no matter what they look like, must be treated with respect and professionalism. What happened yesterday is unacceptable, and I'm here to make sure that doesn't happen again." Sarah's statement made the entire team feel like they were facing an earthquake. Each of her words not only exposes her unprofessionalism but is also a powerful wake-up call. Sarah did not come to take revenge. She came to change. Not only the system, but also the perceptions and attitudes of each employee here. In that moment, she was not only the new owner. She is a symbol of change, of true value that goes far beyond any superficial judgment based on appearance. As the new owner, Sarah immediately embarked on rebuilding the company culture at the car dealership. Immediately after the shocking announcement, she not only stopped at condemning the disrespectful attitude that employees had given her, but also set out a clear and ambitious vision of how the agency would operate under her leadership. She held a meeting with all employees to present about the far-reaching changes they would face, not only in their work but also in their mindset. Sarah started with the introduction of a new training program to improve customer service skills and rebuild the professional attitude of all employees. These courses are not simply about products or sales skills, but also include training sessions on racist awareness, unconscious bias, and how to treat every customer with respect, no matter what they look like. She also focuses on creating a fair and creative work environment where every employee feels valued and treated fairly, regardless of where they come from. Sarah believes that a good workplace will not only bring business efficiency but also contribute to improving self-esteem and confidence for those who work there. Influenced by her own personal experience of facing discrimination throughout her career, Sarah invited diverse experts and speakers from different communities to share their stories and inspire employees about the power of diversity and inclusion. However, the most important thing is that Sarah not only sets out empty theories, but also enforces them resolutely. She knows that real change is not about giving instructions, but about turning these values into concrete daily actions. From directly supervising customer interactions to organizing regular training sessions, she wants all employees to understand that these changes are not temporary, but a long-term direction for the sustainable development of the dealership. Employees who are used to the old way of working feel challenged, but they are the ones who are developed and matured through the process. With every decision and every action, Sarah is not only rebuilding a car dealership, but building a truly equal space where everyone, whether a customer or an employee, is treated as human beings who deserve respect and fair judgment. She understands that, in order to build a solid foundation for change, you must first change yourself and restore trust to those around you. Sarah knows that changes in company culture cannot only come from directives or administrative decisions, but need to come from changes in the perception and actions of each individual in the team. Therefore, she has spent a lot of time guiding and supporting each employee in developing their professional skills as well as the values of respect, professionalism, and empathy. Instead of imposing meetings or lengthy lectures, she applies close, practical coaching methods and creates opportunities for employees to learn from first-hand experience. Sarah designs training sessions not only on how to handle situations with clients, but also about listening, understanding the needs and feelings of others. She shows employees real-life situations and discusses how they can do better in those situations, from how to use body language to how to choose words in a gentle and respectful way. She also emphasized the importance of not only being effective but also a way for others to feel sincerity and respect in the smallest actions. Sarah placed special emphasis on helping Todd, the employee she had met on the first day. Instead of punishing or criticizing him, she acknowledged that Todd's attitude was not unchangeable, but just needed the right direction. She dedicated Todd to specific coaching and feedback sessions, pointed out areas for improvement, and encouraged him to learn how to build authentic and positive relationships with clients. She did not give harsh criticism but always tactfully gave suggestions and advice to help him recognize his mistakes and correct them. She also encourages employees to exchange ideas and learn from each other by holding weekly experience sharing meetings. During these meetings, employees have the opportunity to express their views and reflect on how they perceive their work, and to look for innovative solutions to improve the quality of service. This is a space for each individual to understand the importance of self-development and improvement not only for themselves but also for the overall development of the team. With Sarah's patient but decisive guidance, gradually each employee realizes that they are not just working at a car dealership, but are becoming part of a professional community where everyone can contribute and grow in a respectful and encouraging environment. This transformation not only helps the company move up, but also changes the entire perception of the staff about professionalism and the importance of treating others well. When Sarah Collins took over as the owner of a car dealership, she didn't just take over a business, she made a mark, a symbol of drastic change. The dealership is no longer just a place to buy and sell cars, but has become a clear demonstration of breaking stereotypes, affirming equal rights and respect for all customers and employees, regardless of where they come from or what they look like. Under Sarah's leadership, not only has the quality of service been improved, But the attitude of employees has also been radically changed. Every employee, from salesperson to manager, learns to see customers not only by their material or social position, but by their appreciation for their dignity. Sarah knew that these changes wouldn't immediately become a habit for everyone, but she persevered day by day, and then the results began to show. Customers who enter the dealership no longer feel judged by their appearance, but feel genuine care from the staff, who no longer look at them through a discriminating lens. Employees gradually develop confidence and a professional working style, understanding that it is respect for customers that will bring long-term and sustainable development to the business. More than just a leader, Sarah becomes a role model for those in life who face difficulties, discrimination, or lack of opportunity. She has not only changed the working environment, but has also been a living example of belief in fairness and resilience in life. Car dealership is not only her business, but it has become a model for reform in treating people fairly. Throughout this journey, Sarah not only demonstrated the power of patience and compassion, but also affirmed that anyone can make a big difference if they have faith in a noble goal and do not give up on their ideals. Sarah Collins' leadership philosophy is not based on mere business principles, but is built on a deep foundation of respect, fairness, and sustainable development. She has always believed that a true leader must be someone who is not only capable of making the right decisions, but also must create an environment where each individual feels his or her value and potential are recognized. For Sarah, leadership is not about giving orders or control, but about the ability to inspire and help others grow. She understands that a strong team is not only built from talented people, but also people who can see each other with respect and support each other to reach a common goal together. Sarah always puts the company's goals first, but also cares about the personal development of each employee. She believes that understanding the aspirations of others will help leaders easily make appropriate decisions, both benefiting the company and creating satisfaction for each individual. She also strongly promotes continuous learning and development, encouraging her team to always challenge themselves, dare to change and recognize their shortcomings to become better day by day. It is a philosophy that does not accept peace, but instead always strives and constantly improves oneself. An important part of Sarah's philosophy is that she believes that leaders really have to know how to listen. Listen to the opinions of those around them, listen to the wants and difficulties of their employees, and listen to criticism. Only in this way can a leader maintain a positive, respectful, and constantly evolving work environment. Sarah leads not only with power but also with her heart, and that's the key to her success in changing not only the car dealership, but also the way people view work and sustainable values in business.